Proxy Table Gaming fans, PTG. I'm Hyper G with Lucky Sixes.
Hello.
Respect be to thou. Thou? You? It was a cross between thou and you.
Thou.
Came out thou.
Well, in spirit of Art of War.
I see.
I suppose it's Konnichiwa. I don't know.
I don't know. You're bowing your head to me,
Hello.
as you should. As you should.
As I should.
You know, so.
And it's your battle report, after all.
It is my battle report, yes. It is. It's Art of War, round 5 for me. The final one in the tournament for us. And you set me a challenge unknowingly, because it was all happening at the same time. I am exactly 14 points behind you, and you've finished.
I'm finished.
But you haven't.
Got you.
And I didn't know that was going to be how you finished.
But
yeah. Yes. So here we go.
And you're not against Warriors.
I'm not against Warriors or Equitane or Tin Opener. I've got Dread Elves, and I love Dread Elves. I think they're so good. They're such good fun. And it's Drew Huntleys, who I only played for the first time at Cardiff last year. So that's a great ending as well. I mean, you said that you were pleased to come up against John in your round 5. I was pleased to see Drew. Drew's a great guy, great player to play against. So, and Dread Elves enjoy playing against them. So yeah, looking forward to this one. There is my list with the Saurian aggression, not aggression, combat list with a bit of armor going on and divination to support. And now I am coming across the idea that I need to be more aggressive. It's hitting me as the tournament's gone on.
Sure.
So shall we see how I interpret that? Drew Huntleys, Zambro on the forum. He's taking. I love all parts of Dread Elves. So yeah, he's got a Warlock Outcast with who is his general with Evo and the Magical Alien Binding Scroll. Nice wizardy caster. Selection Officer on a Raptor with the BSB, Obsidian Rock, Lucky Charm, all that lovely stuff for combat. And he's going to be deploying in his unit of Dread Knights. So that's a pretty scary unit. We all know that Dread Knights are very well statted out and they can do their stuff. Then into core, big unit spears with the Executioner's icon. I can't remember what that is. I think that might be that instead of having +1 to wound in only the first round, they have it always.
Makes sense.
I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've studied the Dread Elf items, but there definitely used to be an item that did that. It would make sense for spears at strength 3. Then some Selection auxiliaries with their repeater crossbows. 2 units of Shadow Riders, who are just a nightmare to pin down. They're the equivalent of Flayers, really, aren't they? How do they point up into how much do Flayers cost?
Simple. I think it's 195. I think it's 195.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Big unit Adjudicators, which I've played before, and they can do a number on things when they want to. Hit very well and wound just as well. There's the Dread Knights. 3 Gorgons, one of Craig's favourite units actually, and I've fallen afoul to them before, so I was interested to see how I dealt with them, because they're very good against certain things, and other things they just want to stay away from. So I was intrigued by that. Got 2 repeater batteries, which could cause me some problems, and 2 Raptor chariots, so doubling up. Good old classic tactic that. And then a unit of 5 Black Cloaks, and I do like the Black Cloaks. Not quite as good as they used to be, but still good. Long march home, as I alluded to in Lucky Sixes battle, I did start deploying and do marching columns wrong. Drew was very patient with me and said, you're supposed to be doing it like that. The guy deployed 1 unit in one corner,
in the middle,
the unit in the other corner.
It was
I left myself about 6 inches for the rest of my army, something like that. So yeah, that was funny. And again, we were dropping 1 by 1, so it was difficult to tell who was going to get first turn with this one, and whether I get it or not. I'll find out when we get to the pictures. But yeah, oh yes, these pictures were actually taken after the battle, which is why they're in a weird position, kind of thing. But such awesome models. Nice job, Drew. They look great, and yeah, beautiful. I had to get pictures, so
agreed.
There we go. And so the objective was we're going for each other's deployment zone, and like was mentioned, the gold penny, which is a previous thing given out at R4 actually, is in Drew's deployment zone at the top left of the screen. This one's a bit blurry, apologies for that. And the red penny on the right hand side, which is near his Black Cloaks, where the mouse pointer has gone towards, sort of, is Drew's breakthrough objective. So let's do my deployment because it is a bit blurry, so it's not easy to tell. You got the skink hunters in a like column formation almost in front of the Ramphadons. Then you've got the Tegu guard. The Anarach is inside them. He's not sitting behind them, but he's just hanging off the back.
Yeah.
The Tegu warriors with my veteran and Thyroscutus in as normal. And then I have got the Carnosaur in the Raptors this time, which I know is kind of counter to my be aggressive and make an extra target. But he's got bolt throwers, and bolt throwers would love to see a Carnosaur out in the open.
They would.
So, especially a repeater bolt thrower. This way, at least some of the Raptors can take some of the hits if he does shoot at them. And then the Tegu warriors behind. So I am quite cornered, actually. And with my objective being there, I was quite keen on splitting the table in half, actually, and just barreling up this flank, which worked, I think, quite nicely for me the way Drew deployed. In terms of he's got his Gorgons directly opposite on the left. He's got a unit of Shadow Riders behind, a Raptor Chariot, then one repeater bolt thrower, then another unit of Shadow Warriors, and a repeater bolt thrower behind that. Now those 6 units, 6 units, yeah, all of them. I'm thinking to myself, if I get all of those points and the objective, I'm happy. And so that was kind of what I was thinking, especially with me barreling up this side. The Judicators were next. That's a problem because they can cause some damage.
Yeah.
Then he had his spears. Then he had a Raptor Chariot. Then he had his Dread Knights. But for me, the Dread Knights were my biggest threat, and they were the furthest away. So I was delighted with that. And then he's got his Black Cloaks a bit further on. Now, got much more clarity in this picture. I go first. I think I won the roll-off because we were 1-for-1ing quite a lot with this one. And yeah, I just move up. Quite aggressive. It is as aggressive as I can be. Everything marches really far forwards, actually. Obviously, I've got the Banner of Speed on the Tegu Warriors, which is why they're able to move a bit further. But yeah, no fear. Even my Raptor's showing he's too far to charge me, so I haven't left that.
Sure.
I basically just want him to stay back long enough for me to get my flank moving forward. And yeah, I think this is just another picture of how it looks.
Some wounds.
No, magic, yes. So I'm casting some divination magic, do 2 wounds. I think it's unerring strike, which is really good against the Aegis 5-up of the Gorgons, because he has to reroll his divine. And I think I was out of range to do pyroclastic flow against a bolt thrower yet, so I did 1 wound to the chariot. Not sure what it was with, but yeah, all good anyway. So plinking away nicely. And then Drew surprised me. He charged his Gorgons into my Tegu Warriors with the Tegu Veteran. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. I was not expecting that at all. My unit is undamaged. And they got spears, including the Veteran. I was thinking to myself, great. I get his Gorgons, and then I carry on moving. He's actually come to me. I said, yeah, I loved it. I didn't really know how to play against the Gorgons, and so I thought, yeah, that's brilliant.
Well, it forces the issue either way, doesn't it? So.
It does. So you know, he moves his Black Cloaks around, and he curves his line, not moving too far forward with the Judicators or the spears at this point. But that's fair enough, because my Raptors are probably zoned a bit, so that was all good. And I think that's just how you finish moving, actually. Yeah, because he's already taken this to the Gorgon. That's not combat. Yeah, and he's just moving up like that. The Black Cloaks shoot a wound off of the Raptors, and he gets a bolt thrower hit on the Carnosaur. Only 1 hit allocated to it. And the others get saved by armor or the Aegis save of the Thyroscutus. So, funnily enough, the Carnosaur was the one that took the hit. Then the Black Cloaks kill another one with their hits. So, that's all good. At this point, I then move the Carnosaur out of the unit of Raptors in my turn 2.
After the combat?
Oh, sure, yeah, sorry. So, yeah, my unit kills a Gorgon, but not all of the Gorgons. So maybe that was Drew's thinking. Maybe he rightly assessed that he holds me up.
Are they unbreakable?
No.
Okay.
No. They just passed a relatively passable save, I think.
Sure.
I think he's got his BSB in the Judicators, I think.
Yeah.
No, that can't be right because it wouldn't be 18 inches. I don't know. He passed his save anyway because I've got static combat res for days, obviously. but he holds, which fair enough. So I moved my Carnosaur out of my Raptors. Reason I wanted to do this because those black cloaks were a bit annoying, and I knew that they could be chaff later.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figure that this will stop the black cloaks from going round my flank, because then I can just Carnosaur them. And his bolt throwers are movement range 24, so the Carnosaur is out of that range. He can move them 5 inches forwards, but if he does that, I've now got my Tego Guard legging it forward, and I think they can go through a chariot to get to the bolt throwers. So there's that plan. I'm not sure who I've block-toaded with my Ramphadons on that flank. Can't see my tokens anywhere. Maybe Gorgons might be one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Fate's Judgment goes and kills a bolt thrower.
Nice.
That was awesome. He stops Pyroclastic Flow, and Fate's Judgment goes off, and I get a decent result from the D6. So kills a bolt thrower, which is brilliant. I think this is just
panic these Shadow Rovers.
Yeah, it might do. Yes, it panics them in front of his Judicators, which had my Tegu Warriors been able to move forward, that could have been used even nicer, but no one could have predicted that. So, is what it is. The Gorgons, like, they do die in my turn, which stops me. But you'll notice I have lost a good few Tegu Warriors to it.
Yeah.
So I think, maybe Drew assessed that way better than I did, depending on what his objective was with it. Because I have got the points for his Gorgons. They are 410 points. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
But
to whittle you down so that the Judicators get a better matchup, maybe.
Yeah, well, exactly. It does. Lose me a few bodies. We didn't mention in your battle, actually. In this scenario, core points are worth half.
Yes.
So for me, 410 points of Gorgons, the special choice, was a lot more gettable than half points on my Tegu Warriors. So I was happy with that outcome. I did slightly underestimate the Gorgon still. And then Drew goes into his turn and he charges his chariot in on its own. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on? They're all coming in one by one. Technically, I don't think he could have charged his chariot in last turn, or maybe he failed with his chariot last turn. I don't think he did fail. I don't think he charged it last turn. But yeah, now he's coming in with his chariot on his own.
And trying to whittle you down.
He's just whittling me down, and I guess that's fair enough. He chaffs with his black cloaks in front of my Raptor Riders. Reason is he knows full well that his Dread Knights are coming up behind. So, charge the black notes at your peril. And he rallies his other Shadow Riders as well in front of his Judicators now. So that's all fine. He gets Touch of the Reaper off on my Raptors and kills 2, which is fair enough. I'll kill Raptors. At this point, I'm thinking I'm not going to be aggressive with the Raptors. They're going to get killed by the Dread Knights, so have those spells. Totally. He also gets Ancestral Aid off on his Chariot, but it doesn't help him Chariot. I actually moved my Tegu Veteran across and just
batter him up.
Dead. So I didn't lose much to that.
Might you have been better not to move him across and to win on combat res?
What, and make him flee?
I suppose you're not actually winning by much, though. If you do like 3 wounds. Because then he flees, then you can pursue him and get even closer. But it's just a thought.
Yeah, and then going into my turn, I can have a charge on his Shadow Warriors and Judicators. Depends if I want the Judicators or not.
Yeah.
And I have taken a lot of damage now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm down to less than half models, I'm not sure I could take on the Judicators.
I agree.
So, because Judicators would hit on 3s with lightning reflexes. So, and are they the ones with hatred? I think they are. So, yeah, Judicators are nasty.
Yeah.
So what I do in my turn 3, I continue moving forward with the Tegu Guard, who are obviously undamaged and looking really strong. I back off with the Raptors, basically. They've done their job. They've zoned him back for 3 turns, or 2 turns. They've done their job, and I moved the Ramphadons and the Carnosaur onto the hill to give me a good re-rollable charge with them, with anything that fancies coming forward.
Yeah.
The Skink Hunters and the Skink Veteran are both ready to chaff if he comes forward too aggressively for me. I throw some javelins at the Black Cloaks, give them a bit of a taste of their own medicine, and actually get 2 kills off, which is quite surprising considering. So yeah, not too bad. And then Pyroclastic Flow now is in range of that bolt throw and do 2 wounds to that one. So
Yeah,
that
decent.
was good. Plinking away with my magic.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets a little bit complicated, this battle. This part possibly not so much, because he moves a Shadow Rider unit to chaff my Tegu Warriors in the middle with that conga line, and he moves the other one to chaff my Tegu Guard on the far left corner. That's all fair enough. And also the Black Cloaks, well, they don't chaff my Ramphadons, but they do chaff the Carnosaur. And obviously the Raptors are facing the wrong way now. So it's all a bit of a traffic jam building up there, and we're all fighting in a very small amount of space on this overall big battlefield.
Yeah.
I should mention his Selection repeater bolt throwers are not in any other pictures, because they're just legging it up his left flank towards the objective.
Oh,
they're not even shooting
auxiliaries.
anything. Yeah. The auxiliaries, yeah, sorry. Yeah. So they're not involved because they're going for the objective.
Cool.
Which is fair enough. He gets Curse of the Phantom Queen off. I still don't really get that spell. It's so like
if you do
wounds to you, if you do wounds to anything within 18 inches, isn't that something like that?
Yeah.
It like does a few little small time hits. Yeah.
For each
I guess
veil token you use. So basically, if you do a wound to something, you can discard veil tokens
and do hits to something else. Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's a plinker. So what do I do about this traffic jam? Well, what I do is I charge my Tegu Guard into his Shadow Warriors and charge the flank, and it ends up like that, which is a bit of a real, like turn around the clock for the Tegu Guard. But I figure I can definitely kill them in a turn and then turn to face his flank of his Judicators, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Which is why I jump my Skink Veteran and stand them in front of the Judicators, so they're completely chaffed, which is wonderful. And I think what am I going to do about these Shadow Riders in the middle? Because I don't really want to take on his Dread Knights with anything. So I go and charge the Skink Hunters into the flank of the Shadow Riders. I don't really know whether Skink Hunters can win that. But if anything, I'd be quite happy if they just stayed there all game.
Yeah.
And just fought it out between them,
Absolutely.
Just block that all up while I move my scoring units towards the objective in the breakthrough. Because you can see my red unit of Tegu Warriors are moving up the left flank as well.
Yeah.
So they're getting towards that objective to make it 2-1. And he has only got his auxiliaries going for my one in my objective, my corner. So
2v1 would win.
Exactly. Oh, there they are. I did take a picture of them. There you go. They're already there.
Speaking of which.
Yeah. So good stuff. In the combat, this is 2 rounds of combat actually.
All right. Okay.
Because he only had 3.
No, that can't be. They can't, because he's got horses as well. That can't be 2 rounds of combat because you haven't moved over on the top.
Oh, good point. Huh.
And he hasn't charged
7 kills. 7 kills is pretty good with 6 attacks.
He had 4, and then I think he had 8.
Oh, sure. No, maybe because I was 5 wide. Yeah, maybe he did. But still.
Yeah,
that's quite good going, I guess. If it is 1 round of combat, no, but he has moved. He's moved his Judicators.
No,
has he?
No, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Either way, that combat is that.
Then this.
Now I turn around, and because he's chaffed, I think to myself, well, I don't actually need to get in the flank of the Judicators because they're chaffed.
Yeah.
So I can just move like that, which is fine.
Then on to his turn, he charges the
turn
chariot.
3. He charges the chariot. Yes, that's right. He charges the chariot into my Skink Veteran. Doesn't charge the Judicators in. It's still a bit of a traffic jam in there, and obviously I've got my Tegu Guard very much ready to charge his Judicators flank.
You take a DT wound.
He took a DT wound on the chariot. Thanks for paying attention, because I'm not seeing everything with this. And his Dread Knights, did they fail a charge? Oh, no, he's fled his Black Cloaks away from my Carnosaur as well at some point. And my Carnosaur didn't move very far off the hill.
But you were chapping him from actually going into your Carnosaur, so he's just moved to the side.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And that's pretty much what that shows. He gets that off again. Casts Mini Cheddar. And Spectral Blades, as well as Mini Cheddars. Yeah, very good. Getting them on the board. Goes through my Skink Veteran, which is to be expected. Clips the Tegu Guard. which is something I definitely could have avoided.
Okay, yeah.
Because the overrun potentially could have chaffed me anyway. Maybe. No, it would have gone past me. It might have chaffed. I don't know. But it has meant I can't charge the flank of his Judicators. And he saw that clearly, so it made an even better charge for the Chariot. And I could have prevented that by maybe putting my skink in a better place.
Yeah.
But it means I can kill his Chariot and get a few more points. So should be all right with that. This combat takes the opposite turn, and I only lose one skink to one horseman, and I'm not really killing him very quick either, but they're just standing in the middle. And then we have, so into my turn 4. So the Chariot combat hasn't happened yet.
No.
I charge my Raptors, who spent my turn 3 turning back around, into the flank of his Shadow Warriors, Shadow Riders, with the intention that I can then overrun forward and traffic jam his Adjudicators again and use the Raptors as chaff, kind of thing, sort of thing.
But you've also charged your Lord into the Adjudicators.
I've also charged my Lord into the Adjudicators. Now, I've been very confident with my Tegu Veteran, right? I've stood in front of Knights Resplendent. I've charged and taken on a unit of Feldrax. Adjudicators, slightly different kettle of fish. We'll see how it plays out. It's a bold move. I get in with the Tegu Veteran, so he's going to fight a whole unit.
End of a tournament, bit of fun. That's what that is.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't even got the multiple wins 2 versus large against Judicators because they ain't large.
Yeah.
So this is all on his actual combat prowess. It's not. It's not the weapon that's helping really. Yeah. It's just a fancy spear. This one. So what else is going on in this one?
Ramphadons.
Ramphadons come up and chaff his Raptors. I just need to keep them busy while my Raptors do their thing. Really. And 235 points is an acceptable loss against a unit of Dread Knights that could run through my entire army effectively. So they go in like so. I don't think there's much else going on there. I get Cascading Fire off on my Tegu Veteran. We were going quite quick because of time and everything. So I think there's minimal pictures and lots going on in between. I get not Cascading Fire, Cloak of Cinders on the Tegu Veteran, which helps against the Judicators, but he still does 2 wounds to me. And I'm immediately I'm thinking, that possibly wasn't the best move to charge. I could have just stood in front of them. I had Ranger's Boots. I didn't need to charge him. I could have just stood in front of him and made him decide whether he wanted that combat or not.
Okay.
So I've done that a little bit too early, I think, really. My Raptors go through the Shadow Riders, which is fantastic, and they overrun into the Raptor Chariot. But the thing is, the Raptor Chariot was still there, having fought a round of combat against the Tegu Guard. And you see that pile of dead Tegu Guard? That Raptor Chariot rolled 6 impact hits and did every single wound that it could do to my Tegu Guard.
Very nice.
And for a Raptor Chariot going in against Tegu Guard with great weapons and all sorts, you don't really expect to lose that many Tegu Guards. And, I mean, the Raptor Chariot has lost a few wounds now as well. So it should be on its last legs.
Yeah. Will that have included the Curse of Phantom?
I don't remember that doing a lot.
Because it's got 2 Veil tokens there is my only thing.
Oh, I've got 2 Veil. They're my Veil tokens.
But I don't know whether that because he has to discard Veil tokens to do hits on you.
Sure, I don't know where Drew's Veil tokens are.
Sure. I don't know whether that was.
I don't remember it being a big feature.
Cool.
And that was me taking a picture of the Raptor Chariot's dead pile.
Yeah, man.
Good job. Again, a lot going on. This picture is great. Just pointed my camera and clicked.
Yeah.
So the Dread Knights and the Spears charge the Ramphadons. The Hunters, who obviously originally charged the flank of the Shadow Riders, they're still alive, the little blighters.
Yeah, man.
So they're now stood in front of the Spears and being annoying, keeping their half points and half points from being core, which is crazy. And so there's that. And I think it's all just. I've moved my Tegu veteran a bit further down the Judicators because he didn't enjoy fighting those ones in front of him.
Yeah, sure.
But it's essentially still that. And he dies. His races run. Judicators, different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Misjudged that one.
Looks like you did about 5 wounds.
It's not a lot.
So,
yeah. So, exactly. Kill the Raptor Chariot. Take another 2 losses on the Raptors on the way through. But obviously, I do that in his turn?
This is his turn, yeah.
Yeah, his turn. Yes. So I now have a turn to decide what I want to do about it. And I decide to that's the Raptors dying.
And this is you turning your
Tegu Guard
away.
Yes, away, because I see I've taken a fair amount of damage with my Tegu Guard. I don't want to take on the Judicators with Tegu Guard because Judicators attack first and destroy Tegu Guard.
Yeah.
I need a lot of magic to help that out. And I'd see the charge on the repeater bolt thrower behind me, basically, as another option. The Ramphadons die to the Dread Knights, as you would expect, who've got 2 Blot Toads on them for some reason. Don't know why that was. And into my turn, we're missing a little bit here. So you can go back to the last one if you like. So I then get a turn, and I move my Skink Hunters because he doesn't overrun with his spears into my Skink Hunters.
Okay.
Not really sure why. Unless they weren't fighting the Ramphadons. Maybe they weren't fighting the Ramphadons because the other picture was a bit obscure, wasn't it?
Maybe.
So maybe they weren't fighting the Ramphadons. But I moved my Skink Hunters in front of the Judicators to chaff them in the last turn. To stop them from getting anything else.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like my Tegu Guard might have failed a charge on the repeater bolt thrower because that's still alive.
And then you've got him with magic anyway.
And I got him with magic anyway, so that was fine. I needed my Skink Hunters to chaff the Judicators because otherwise he would have charged the flank of my Tegu Guard or my Tegu Warriors.
Left a 15.
I left
16,
a long charge.
16.
15, 16. It was a long charge. It was basically, my Raptors meanwhile turned around and ran. My Carnosaur have ran. I'm keeping my points with that. And so going into Drew's last turn, we had a bit of a chat with it. We had about 5 or 10 minutes left on the clock. And he said to me at the end of the Ramphadon combat, when the Ramphadons died, he said he had a choice going into the last turn, whatever it was going to be. He could have reformed his Dread Knights and or Spears to turn around and go back to the objective and got 3 units there because his crossbowmen are already there.
Yeah.
But what he decided to do, because it was the last game of the tournament and he was mid-table, I was mid-table.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Wasn't worried too much about podium or anything like that. He decided he wasn't going to turn around and draw the objective if he got all 3 there, because I had 3 near his. He was going to go for 11 and 12-inch charges on the flank of my warriors. Fair play, Drew. That's enjoying the game as far as I'm concerned. And, so he lined up these flank charges into my warriors, trying to get very big charges because the Dread Knights could make it as well if they with their extra movement.
Drum roll, please.
Fail both.
Terrible decision, idiot. Huh?
Well, you said it, not me. No. Drew explained his thinking very tactically. If this had been a team tournament, or if he needed more points to the game, he could have turned around with his Dread Knights, marched them into the objective, got 2 over there.
To be fair, if they get in, there's a chance one of your other units panic.
Absolutely, well. He could wipe up that entire warrior block with the Dread Knights in the flank, or maybe even the spearmen because they're wounding well with the armor, etc. So, I really appreciate the thought process and the decision Drew's made. It didn't work out for him, and I thank him for that because it obviously means I win the objective and I keep my points, etc. The Judicators do kill the Skink Hunters. At the end of because of the half core points, they're only worth 80 points. The best chap in the game, considering they killed a unit of Shadow Riders for 93 points. But yeah. And yeah, so that is the last picture there.
Where it ended
I get
up.
all three of my scoring units up the top into the objective range.
Nice.
And the Raptors even keep half points, which is amazing considering they took a bit of a beating as well. So yeah, overall that one went pretty well for me. But did it? You're about to click the button, aren't you? Did it net me 15 points to overtake you?
So 14 to draw.
14 to draw equal with
15 to overtake.
15 to go ahead. It is
15 points!
Yeah! Did it! Gotcha! Did it by a point. I mean, you should have had a word with Drew because he could have turned around and got the objective.
Yeah. Nah, that's good.
Fortunately, thank you, Drew. You made the right call for me. It's like an Oscar-winning speech.
I want to thank.
Yeah, it was a 15-5 to me, and it does bump me up a little bit. It leaves me on 48 points as a finish, which is slightly below the 50 objective that I try to achieve at tournaments. It means I end up with 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. So broke even in that regard. And yeah, this was a really good battle. I really enjoyed it. I always enjoyed playing Dread Elves. I always enjoyed playing Drew. I think it was a bit of a traffic jam, and there were plenty of places that one of us could have done something different. So I'm a bit almost reluctant to say, how would you play this different? Because there was such a mashup in the middle that any number of things could have worked out differently. But yeah, that was just how it ended up the way we did it on that day. So yeah, it was good fun. And those skink hunters just surviving so long in the middle of everything.
Very much so.
Was good fun. Really good fun. So yeah, I was pleased with that overall net result of the tournament. It made me think that Saurian list could be more aggressive because they can handle themselves in a fight, and I probably played the first 2 or 3 rounds a bit too defensive. But alas.
Interesting to see how similar it could be in the new book, and if we're honest, it's not that similar.
No, everything's changed. Don't get me started. But yes, I don't know if this list converted to new book has legs. I actually have a feeling it's got cheaper. As in, if I played everything the same, I save a decent chunk of points, but things have got significantly worse as a result.
Yes. Or at least very different in
cheaper. Exactly, yeah. And very different, so the whole list plays differently. So whether or not I will take this list again and see how it is in the new book, I'm not sure, because it is a lot worse, in my opinion. But we won't start that conversation.
That's for another time. And
we'll see what I go on to next.
And I think we've got a few in-between battles, but our next one we're really gearing up towards is the team tournament.
It is
in May, so in Cardiff.
And we're not even on the same team.
No, we are.
No, we're going to a team tournament
against each
on
other.
Opposite teams.
Which is I'm really looking forward to. It'd be both
now
our
that
first...
you've gone off and joined Team England.
Both our first one in terms of tabletop team tournament in person.
Yeah,
so
really looking forward to it.
Super looking forward to that one. Roll on May. Roll on May for that. We will have some in-betweens and probably some more Warhol battles. Also, we have plenty of chat with the Patreon people over our mega battle we have started.
Yes, we have.
But there is still time to get involved. It's a 2-day battle.
Absolutely.
Through. Get involved halfway through, and
will it even be finished in 2 days? We're not quite sure.
We will see. Yes, so there might even be more after that as well. We'll try and get that out as well. So we're gearing up towards that mega battle.
300 lucky sixes.
I know. It's incredible. And even if you're not looking forward to, or you're not looking to get involved in the mega battle, and you just want to help and support us, it keeps the lights on and stuff like that in terms of the channel. go to our Patreon. If you not want to support us with money, that's completely fine as well. But do go and hit the like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, we love what we
buttons.
do, and we really appreciate all the support, whatever form it comes in.
Absolutely. So go on all the social medias and things like that. Comment as we always love, and you always do. But even more, it's even more enjoyable for us. So keep that going. And otherwise, stay tuned for lots of more bat reps, more hobby content from Gobbo, and more Ninth Age goodness. Right?
Absolutely, yeah, really going well at the minute.
Yeah, big shout out to all the Out of War guys.
Ryan,
Dan
did a great job, didn't
Dan, organising the whole thing. Ryan with all the prizes. Everybody from the Bristol Ninjas who we have a certain affinity to as well. Definite big fondness. It was really nice the day before the tournament, meeting up with a lot of them and some others as well. So thanks to everyone involved, really. And bring on the next one.
Too right. Yeah, looking forward to it already. Cheers, folks.
See you later.